Well, hello, everybody.
Heyo.
How's everybody doing? We're here late night on a Friday. You don't know that, but when you see this on Saturday morning, we were here just the night before.
Actually, a few hours before.
Right, mere hours before. It's a late night on a Friday, rainy night, and it's episode 101 of Sports and Spaghetti. I don't think I ever thought that we would just be the two of us here again.
Yeah, this is odd. It doesn't feel right.
The common theme here is that I'm just steadfast and steady because I'm here with Nick. I'm here with you. I'm unbelievably, right? I'm the most available.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wouldn't have thought.
Well, the structure of my life lends itself to this because I've put myself in a position where my kids are in bed by now. And so I'm kind of free. And I get to decide between the mouse or come do the podcast. And she was very gracious this week. And she was like, do it on Friday. Do it. I'll get them ready for bed. Do it. Well, we were going to do a Wednesday, but Nikki was sick. And
Sicky Nikki,
and then Plansy Nikki.
But see, it's nice on a Friday because I don't have to get up at 5 a.m. tomorrow.
Right, you're not like, oh, we got 40 minutes yet. No, I still have to get up and bring Sabrina to dance.
Yeah, but
you
could hit like a 7 a.m. wake up.
Yeah, right. That's not bad.
No,
I mean that's later than I normally wake up.
That's my sleep in. I wake up at like 7:30. I'll doze, wake up, and I'm out of bed by 9.
I could even get away with 8 o'clock.
Oof.
Probably if she allows it, I could get away with 8 o'clock. Well, yeah, we're here and we have I think a pretty chill menu today, for our show. We've got some aggravations to discuss in the hockey world, and the Masters is happening, and so let's talk. We're going to talk a little bit about the Masters. We're 2 days in, which is kind of cool to be doing this after 2 days, and then you'll hear this, and there'll still be 2 days left, based on the timing. It almost worked out better. So we could see where guys like Justin Rose are leading. And we're going to do some menus today. So the food today is, well, Anthony and I created Masters menus. Anthony, explain to the people why we did this.
Yes, so traditionally what happens when you have a Masters winner is the night before the tournament starts, they have a Masters dinner. All the golfers come in, all the media people, they come in and they eat. It's one of the best traditions of the Masters Augusta, there's 100 traditions, and this is one of the cooler ones. So last year's winner was the 2024 champion, Scottie Scheffler.
Scottie had a rough day.
His menu, we'll start it off here, right? So this could be like anywhere, just your favorite. It's pretty much their favorite foods from any, restaurant-wise, or, homemade stuff, things their parents make. So we're going to start with Scottie Scheffler's. His appetizers are cheeseburger sliders served Scottie style. I don't know what that means, but you
gotta be in a club to find out.
And then we got the firecracker shrimp with sweet Thai chili sriracha mayo. Gas.
I would eat that.
Then we have Papa Chef's meatball and ravioli bites, which is, I'm assuming that's his dad or his grandfather, and meatball ravioli bites.
So those are pretty like hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah, those are your apps, right? Then he goes into the first course. His is a soup. He has Texas-style chili, which means no beans. And so his first course is Texas-style chili, cheddar cheese, jalapeno, corn chips. Texas-style means there are no beans in it. And then for
Thank you. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. That's really all it means.
I thought it meant it was spicier. Thank you for that. I didn't know that.
And then his two mains, choice of a wood-fired cowboy ribeye or blackened redfish with family-style macaroni and cheese, jalapeno cream corn, soy-glazed Brussels sprouts, chipotle lime roasted sweet potatoes.
That dinner sounds really good, man.
That does sound delicious.
I would want one of each. I would want the ribeye and the redfish because redfish is delicious.
Let's finish it off here. We got his dessert, the warm chocolate chip skillet cookie vanilla bean ice cream on top.
That's fantastic.
Listen, man.
That's all you need.
That's really all you need to do. It's perfect. It's perfect. So we kind of wanted to do one as well. So we went with 2 appetizers, a soup, 2 choices.
That's what you did.
I went with it. I went with 2 appetizers, a soup, 2 entree options, and a dessert. And then Chris, you could take yours away because yours is written. Mine's off the dome ski.
Oh, okay. So
I know what it is. Yours is you're more prepared.
I have 4 apps, a first course, 2 mains, and a dessert.
All right.
So I got to give all credit where credit's due, and they are going to be waiting for this. Oh, you know what I didn't do today? We'll do the Jolly Rancher after this. We'll do that. Make them listen. Make them search for it. Well, they're not going to be able to get one until 2 weeks because I'm on spring break now. But anyway, my win class, my 7th period class. Shouts out to all of them, all the guys. They pulled up chairs behind me, 5 of us, and 5 of them and me, and I was like, guys, I gotta have a good menu because social media is gonna vote on this, and I need you to help me out in these votes. And so let's make a menu. They were all over it. That's a class where like they get extra work done, and it's almost spring break, so they didn't have work. So this menu you're gonna see is sort of cohesive, but there's definitely some different flair in it from other places. And that was intentional because they're things that I had to approve of. I just didn't want them to say rice and beans, because I don't like rice and beans, so that would not be on my menu. It has to be something I would have. All right, so let's start with the appetizers for Chris's Masters menu. Number 1 is boneless spicy barbecue wings with curly fries. That is an appetizer. The next is Manchego mac and cheese bites. So fried mac and cheese bites with Manchego cheese, not just a regular American and ched.
Why Manchego?
Because I had Manchego mac and cheese bites at my wedding, and they were really good, and that cheese is a little bit more creamy.
I was there and I don't remember it.
I don't think I had one at the wedding, but when we did the tasting, they were really good. And we had those, and that cheese is a little bit creamier and nuttier, and it just, the Manchego takes it and makes it a little bit fancier. So the whole theme of our menu is that it's a little bit fancier than maybe what I would cook for dinner on a weeknight. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because this is
like if you won the Masters.
I told them this is a black tie event. Like this is people are dressing up to go to this dinner. So it can't just be like a PB&J. It's got to be done up a little bit. And so the third thing is frito con salami, which is a delicious small bite Hispanic meal. A lot of people in the Dominican Republic eat this.
It's a breakfast.
Yeah, it's fried egg over easy. You can eat it however you want with fried salami seasoned with salt only seasoned with salt. And so the way that I would have it served is I would have them cut in about 1.5 to 2 inch like circles like this and stacked on top of each other.
Oh, see.
With little skewers in it.
I like that.
See, we talked about all these fine details, so they look fancy. So it's a bite. You have one, you take it off the platter, or you have a bunch of them at the table on a platter. And the final thing is garlic bread crostini.
That's not bad.
That's the final app.
That's not bad.
It's pretty good, right?
It's solid.
It's pretty good. All right, here's the first course. The first course served in a 6-inch bowl. So this is a small serving. It's Grammy's Penne alla vodka. Okay?
That's a classic.
It's called Grammy's. She didn't make it a lot when I was little, but I wanted to call it Grammy's because he did Papa Chef's. So I was like, oh, let me do something. I'm not going to do Chris's. I guess I could do Chris's, but I said Grammy's. Who cares? Nobody's going to care. Garnished with parsley. That's kind of what makes it Grammy's. That's her favorite thing. I'm assuming that there would have been salad here anyway because I didn't put a salad. That would be a waste. The main course, there's 2 main courses. The first one is and this is a recipe I've made, and I love it. And it's a reverse seared porterhouse. Reverse sear. The reverse sear made a comeback 55 episodes later, maybe 85. I don't even know. That's a
long one, man.
When we messed up the terminology there.
It was just, and we recognized it like midway through the episode.
We missed 40 minutes in to our hour and a half marathon episode that we used to do. So the reverse seared porterhouse steak is actually seared in ghee, which is clarified butter, and served with a red wine reduction and spring vegetables. Okay? And the lobster tails are the other one. So it would be 2 lobster tails served with lemon, scallion, and arugula garnish. Okay? How about that? How do you like that?
That's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, right?
That's a gorgeous menu.
And then the dessert is my favorite dessert, and the kids voted for this before I even told them what I wanted it to be, and it's a brownie sundae. It's a warm brownie with whatever. I was going to say that they could include vanilla and mint ice cream because that's what Chris likes, but some people are turned off by chocolate and mint.
Well, see, no, I think that the whole point of the Master's dinner is it's yours, so you should do the mint ice cream. All right,
then it would be mint ice cream and hot fudge. That's my dessert. Right? If I won the green jacket the year before, then I shouldn't care what anybody else
some green ice cream.
Oh, why'd they do mint? Well, then don't eat it. It's not your. When you win the Masters this year, then you could pick vanilla, plain, boring ice cream. That would be served in honor of Mr. Chris Walker and his win class. Thank you to those of you who helped me. You know who you are. So that's my menu. What do you think?
I think it's a little higher class than mine.
Okay.
A little higher class than mine, but I like it. I
did make sure, like I said, I made sure the kids knew that it was a black tie affair.
I like it.
Go ahead, Anthony. I can't wait to hear your menu.
All right. So my menu is going to be based off of a lot of, I don't want to say restaurants, but they're things that I've appreciated from restaurants that I've made better myself.
Awesome. And you do that a lot.
I am a big fan of the copycat.
You do copycats, but better. You know who else did a copycat? Andrew Coker did a copycat Crunchwrap. You can find that on our YouTube.
Good plug, Chris.
Yes. Go ahead, Anthony.
All right, so I'm going to start it off. Appetizers are going to be light, but not light.
All right.
So I have 3 appetizers. I originally had 2, but I added a third because you had 3. So we're going to start copycat a la Longhorn Steakhouse, Wild West shrimp. I don't know if you've ever had it. It is a very lightly breaded shrimp, little tiny popcorn-sized shrimp, very lightly breaded with some fried cherry peppers on it.
Oh, that sounds
and then
amazing.
it has like a chipotle ranch dressing. It is perfect. It's my favorite thing. I mean, we had a streak of probably about 13 straight birthdays where I went to Longhorn Steakhouse, and this was a staple.
Wow, I was wondering where you headed with that.
So the copycat shrimp, copycat Wild West shrimp, that's number 1. Number 2, I
like that.
Number 2, this is I would say tied for or my favorite appetizer of all time. We're going to take a trip to the T Roadhouse, okay? And we're going to go with the rattlesnake bites, but again, a homemade rattlesnake bite. If you've never had these, find your nearest Texas Roadhouse. Go down there.
This is a very Texas Roadhouse menu.
You got a Longhorn and then a T Roadhouse.
Oh, both of the right.
So,
what is this called?
These are called rattlesnake bites. Super easy. It is pepper jack cheese and jalapenos. You just batter them in cornmeal and some flour.
Oh.
And you fry them, and they're like little cheese cubes. So I don't know if you've ever had like the Frankie's cheese cubes.
I'm looking at it right now.
Very similar, but these are just, they're so good.
Wow.
So
okay.
it's a little fried,
and the cheese.
jalapeno and cheese.
I feel like that's got to make an appearance. I feel like the cheese has to be part of an appetizer.
Yeah.
It's an American thing, but
you figure they probably have like a charcuterie, whatever you call it,
charcuterie.
They probably have like that out for you to pick on. We don't know.
There's got to be a vast array of things to eat.
And then the last appetizer, this is where we class up the joint. I had these for the first time. If you know, you know. When Chris, Bry, and I went to the Yankee game alongside our new friend Justin.
Yeah.
We met him on the train, which was a great time. If you haven't,
that was wild.
You haven't seen that episode. I think we covered on one of the episodes, but it was a while ago. It was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But we're going to class up the joint here. We're going to go with the stone crab claws. We had these in the Legend Suite, and they were delicious.
Boy, were they ever. I had a bunch of those.
The Florida jumbo stone crab claws, the little black tip. Oh, my God. They were just so good. A little bit of lemon served on ice. That's all you need. So my 3 appetizers, we're going to go with the Wild West shrimp style. Style of Wild West shrimp, the style of the rattlesnake bites, and then we're going Florida stone crab claws served with a little bit of lemon. Those are my 3 apps.
That is delicious. Well, see, it's interesting because you went with a lot of seafood in the apps. That's an interesting take.
Because I have a lack of seafood in the meals.
Ah.
So, my first course.
Dude, I typed Wild West on Google and it said Wild West shrimp.
Yeah, because we're typing on the same Google account.
Oh. I was like, what?
It listens to us. Okay, so first course.
Good.
Dude, first course. I always thought this was my dad's recipe, and then I realized this is also a copycat. My dad just made it like miles better. Now, I was really stuck here because I wanted it to be a soup. And number 1 would either be my aunt and my dad's recipe of pasta fagioli. So that was up there, but it's too heartburn inducing with the pepperoni and the garlic and the red sauce. So I'm like,
right,
you know what?
That's a heavy.
Let me just wait. I'm going with one of my favorite soups. I can't believe we haven't made this on the pod yet, specifically for Nikki. This is going to be the creamy...
The Spartan soup.
No,
oh.
The creamy chicken gnocchi soup.
Oh, Anthony. That sounds good.
It is a delicious... I didn't realize this was an Olive Garden recipe.
Let me tell you something.
My dad made it his own. I remember the first time he ever made it. I was in heaven. This, to this day, is my favorite soup of all time. I love it.
Let me tell you something. And this is how it needs to be served right here. Okay, I'm going to put a picture of it. I'm fresh in my mind tonight. Okay, 18 minutes. It's got to be served in a crock.
We could go with a crock.
I would want it to be like I would want that soup, a creamy soup, in a crock or in like a big loaf of bread. But you know how I am about it. I'm not going to eat the bread, so I would want it in a crock.
I love. Oh, sidebar. This is not. I got a Dutch oven for my birthday.
Did you really?
Mom got me a Dutch oven. I'm very excited. I can't wait to use it.
I love my Dutch oven.
You're the reason why I got it. And I wanted to make paella. And it's like, oh, if you don't have the big pan, you got to. So.
We've made many a recipe for this pod in the Dutch.
We have. And I
made my artisan bread.
I'm very excited.
Oh, wait, you weren't there for that.
I was not.
I made stew in there. Oh, yeah, you're going to love that.
Yeah.
A lot of good dishes to make. The only problem I have with the Dutch oven, and if you know how to mitigate this, put something in our comments on YouTube or Spotify or whatever. Please tell me how, because no matter what I do, whenever I cook something on it, it gets stuck to the bottom of it. It gets stuck. Even if I put butter, oil, it's usually oil, what they say to use, but no matter what I put, it gets stuck. But it doesn't take away from anything. It's fantastic. I love it. Anyway, continue. Can't wait to hear your mains.
All right, so we're moving to the mains. The first one, you can't really have many sides with it, so I'll do that one. I'll get that one out of the way. This is a very tri-state area dinner. because
Okay.
I feel like that's
Well,
my
that's
influence.
where you're from.
Italian tri-state. So I'm going with my favorite dish on planet Earth. We've made it on the podcast before. Chicken scarpiello.
Oh, all right, Scarp.
We can do a side, and this is for Nick. We can do a side of ziti if you want a bad pasta. Serve this with a little penne on the side, but you can't do a lot of sides with it. But this is pretty easy.
That's a delicious dish.
We covered it before. It's a chicken. It's
heavy.
a chicken. Yeah, chicken thigh. A little bit of sausage, cherry peppers, and then you make a stock and make a
Dude,
make a
that
sauce.
thing was hot as the burning coals of hell
That was good though.
when you made that,
was really
and it was really good though.
I got spicy sausage. That was the problem. So it was a double.
Woo, that was hot stuff. It was
double.
sweating eating that, but it was delicious.
I've also never seen it be made with potatoes, but that's a lot of starch.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
looking right now, and then I feel like this is the one everybody's gonna go with. You gotta go with the tomahawk steak.
Yeah, I got to.
You
I
got
mean,
it
you took it right away from Scotty, but that's what you would do.
You gotta go with the tomahawk
The
steak.
cowboy ribeye tomahawk, same deal. That's excellent.
So my sides with that, you gotta go simple because this is such a big cut of meat. You gotta go with a baked potato, just butter, salt, pepper, none of this foo-foo cheese, bacon. No,
Get it out of there.
just butter,
You know that's music to my ears.
just butter.
Thank you.
And then we go. This is where I'm taking it a little different.
Oh boy.
A side Caesar salad.
Thank you. You made that for me.
No, that's because for some reason I feel like Caesar salad as a side, Caesar salad as a meal, it's perfect.
You did that for me.
I think it cuts out a lot of the very fatty tomahawk, and you're gonna have something refreshing
You did that for Chris.
With
That's
the-
exactly what I would order.
with the fresh dressing.
Are you out of your mind? I want that tonight.
Right now,
I
this
could put
second.
it on this table. I tell you something, when I worked at Whole Foods in the meat department and somebody would order a tomahawk steak, there was always the same type of person. Oh, God. I'll take one of those. What? I'll take one of the ones with the big bone coming out of it. Should we get that? Yes, honey, that sounds fine. We can make it with some asparagus.
$66.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah, that'll be $55. Okay, we'll put it on the Amex.
And you drop the card and it goes ding.
If I bought that, if I went home with that, she'd tell me to send it back. Are you the people that buy those?
Go get the
steaks-
chuck. Go.
Go back out there and get the chuck shoulder roast. Enough of this tomahawk. That's a big fat steak too. The bone is an inch plus thick. The steak is like 2-inch thick steak. I bet it's good, medium rare. Woo. I've never had a tomahawk.
We'll have to pool our
We'll
money.
we'll have to splurge together in the summer. All right, we've got a series coming up for the summer, which we'll get to.
We can introduce it at the end of this
Yeah.
episode because I want to lay out some rules that I haven't really discussed. So we'll have to fill Nikki in. But
Yes.
now let's take it
Oh,
to
your
dessert.
Yes. This is exciting. I like doing
this
this.
is a good
This
one.
is fun.
So I don't know how to phrase this because I don't know what she is to me. It's my. We'll get there. We're getting
What?
there. We're getting there. I don't want to say so it's my stepmom's mother's tiramisu. It is, dude.
You know.
Dude. It is.
You might have done it.
It is my dad's wife. Thank you. It is my dad's mother-in-law's
You beat me.
tiramisu, and it is. I don't know how she does it. Like,
Isn't it the best?
it's insane.
when you don't even know. You're just like, how does this come together?
Like, I've never had it. So I've never had it fresh. I've always had it like my dad's like, oh, I have some left, and he just like throws it to me, and it's like 3 days in a container, and it's still moist, and it's like, oh, it's moist, but
Oh
it's
my
not
God.
sopping. It's perfect.
Tiramisu is an elite dessert. And you know, I was introduced to it really late in life, also known as recently, like over the last 5 years, because my parents didn't drink coffee. They never drank coffee. My Grammy did, but my parents didn't drink coffee, so I didn't drink coffee. I didn't grow up in a coffee house. And so they also, it's because they don't like it, mostly. And so they don't like tiramisu because it's coffee based. It's just coffee, or espresso and dessert. So they didn't like the flavor of it. So I would see it. I would always go to this restaurant called Sinapi's in Danbury. It's not there anymore. They closed because they retired, and they always had tiramisu, and I was always like, that looks like an interesting cake. Had no idea how good it was. It always looked interesting. I would always look at it through the window.
Well, it's one of those where you're looking at it and you're like, I don't know what this is going to taste like because you can't really tell. It's easy. It's lady fingers that you dip in the espresso or the coffee, and you layer that.
That's amazing.
It's a whipped mixture: egg yolks, sugar, mascarpone, cocoa powder.
Come on, come on. Yeah. Ooh, excuse me, I'm tired. That is an elite dessert.
It really is.
That is. See, that goes up really interestingly against mine, because a brownie sundae is simple and a heavy hitter, but tiramisu is fancy. That's a fancier dessert with like some espresso,
a little
tacita,
and you need the espresso. You got to get the little sugar rocks that you stir on the stick.
Yes.
I take mine. I just drink it straight
up. But you can incorporate the stick rocks. Yes. Oh, Anthony.
These are two good menus.
I'm really impressed with our menu. Like, I'm thoroughly enjoying thinking about eating both of these.
You know what we'll have to do? Let's get one. Let's have Nikki do it. Let's do a little sports and spaghettis, 9-hole, 18-hole masters, and the winner gets their meal made.
I like it.
We can do something like that.
We will absolutely do that.
I'm with it.
That is brilliant. Anyway, Anthony, this has been a lot of fun today. It feels like we're working together for the first time. I'm sitting here and he's talking, and I'm like, I haven't had a conversation with you. Just like we love Nick, and I love talking to Nick, and it feels kind of the same way. But we haven't done an episode just you and I in forever.
It's probably been over a year at this point.
At least over a year, and so it's so strange. It's like foreign. It's like an old friend from the past. It's like an old flame, if you will.
It's the Alexander Ovechkin of episodes.
And speaking of Alexander Ovechkin, he makes his debut in this show's talkings about, and the good of in no particular order. You segued that very well, Anthony. We'll get to our show's social media bracket, don't you worry. But we're going to roll right now with in no particular order. Because I made a switcheroo with one of mine, okay? I made a swap. So, Alex Ovechkin is the good. I mean, if I didn't say this, then what kind of hockey fan am I? He broke the NHL goal-scoring record with his 895th goal, and it came against the Islanders. I think the Islanders handled it very well. I made myself laugh. For as disgraceful of a franchise that they are, they handled the situation with
disgraceful
grace.
Fans, too.
Yes.
Like, there's probably 3 cities on Earth where he would get booed, and one of them would be on the island.
But they didn't. They came out and they behaved, and they were a great audience. And Ovechkin thanked them. He thanked Ilya Sorokin and for being the guy he broke it against. And
some Russian on Russian crime right there.
Yeah. Yes. Sorokin said he was giving him his glove after the season was over. They traded pucks and they signed stuff, and it was just cool. I mean, it's a cool moment that they're a part of. And Sorokin was just as much a part of it as Ovi was, you know? Like, they're kind of always bound by that. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people who are out of touch, that's the only way I could say it, really. People that are out of touch were like, oh, Sorokin will always be known as the guy who gave up Ovi's 895th. I don't think so. First of all, he will not always be known as that.
Even if he is, who cares?
But
That's a cool trivia.
But he doesn't. That'll always be a thing. Who was the goalie? It was Ilya Sorokin. He's an elite NHL goalie, so it's not like it was a confidence rattling thing or it was some nobody. He was somebody. He's his countryman, and Sorokin's babysat Ovechkin's kids.
It's so
like that, and that's not a joke. That's serious. That's real. And so they know each other. It's not like I gave up the goal. Spencer Knight would have done that if it was against him in the previous game when he almost had it happen to him. You know what I mean? So good on Ovechkin. Let's talk about the White Sox. The White Sox are 2-8 after starting the season 2-2. They lost 6 straight. I was going to say this with Nick here, but they're the end because Nick said they'd be relevant this year, and they're tied for the worst record in the majors.
This is a team that is not going to be relevant for a long time. This is bad ownership. This is not a very good farm system. This is a team that somehow traded away their good young players for nothing.
They're winning 9-1 today.
Who are they playing?
The Red Sox.
Oh, wow.
Which you're going to hear more about later.
This is a team that Andrew Benintendi is the highest free agency, like the highest paid free agent ever. And the guy's like negative WAR right now. This is a team that needs to sell, and they just haven't sold, and they've gotten not good returns for these guys. Like, yeah, I can't even say the Chris Sale trade was good because their biggest piece in that was Yoan Moncada and Michael Kopech. And Kopech was okay, but now he's on the Dodgers. Yoan Moncada, I think he needs a change of scenery. That's not the Angels to be well. Like, I wanted him on the Yankees. I think we said that on the show, but this is a bad team. This is a bad front office. This is a bad ownership. These guys will not be good for a very, very long time.
Can I say something? Actually, I'm so excited about this now that we're talking about the White Sox. I am so unbelievably excited to talk about my old colleague Cooper Boardman, who is just an extraordinary sports broadcaster. Extraordinary. And I knew it when he worked on the Westerners with me as the social media intern. He filled in for me one game when I went to a DMB show in July of 2016. And I was listening to him call the game, and he sounded so good. He sounded like us. He sounded really good. And he's younger than us. And the next year, he was the Westerners broadcaster when I went to the Cape League. I moved up. He moved up. Then when I was done and I got my job at ESPN, he worked on the Cape. And then I moved to NHL Network, and he moved to a small radio station in the Boston area. Mans is broadcasting Red Sox, White Sox for the Red Sox radio station.
Like right now.
Weekend.
That's
right
amazing.
Now.
That's amazing. That's a dream come true right there, man.
His first ever major league broadcast.
We'll have to watch because it's available on MLB.
It's
MLB
radio.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. The MLB app, you'll be able to hear it.
I am so excited for him. We talk sometimes, from time to time. We'll say, hey, how's everything going? Mm-hmm. Happy birthday, whatever. How the kids, stuff like that. He doesn't have kids, but, just like small talk. But I'm just really proud that I know him and that I worked with him.
Yeah.
Such a cool thing. And he was going to be my grinder, but I just wanted to put him in no particular order as a good. I'm just so excited for him. That must be such an unbelievable feeling. His team is getting destroyed right now.
Well,
But
especially if he grew up a Red Sox fan. It's always a crapshoot in this state, let alone in this area of the state. But regardless, that's such a cool thing, man.
It's such an incredible achievement, right, for a young broadcaster, and he will be on the national level, no doubt about it. I went the family path, and he stuck with broadcasting. And it's cool. And it's cool that he's where he is, and to see where different people end up. That makes me happy. And we still have our little thing here, but you see the difference, right?
Yeah.
You stay home. He traveled. He paid his dues, and now it paid off in a big way for Cooper. Well done. All right. The bad. I was going to say the Stars were the bad for giving up 3 goals in the last minute of their game against the Canucks earlier in the week and then lost in overtime. I mean, that's fantastic right there.
Didn't they get the doors blown off them last night, too?
Yeah. But that's not the bad. Patrick Waugh is the bad this week because of what he did to a poor young goaltender last night in Tristan Lennox. Tristan Lennox made his NHL debut last night. He did not start. He came in against the Rangers when the Islanders were down 6-1. He gave up a goal on the only shot he faced, and then Waugh pulled him out. If you are the best or one of the best goalies in NHL history, and you have played in one of the most famous games of NHL history when he gave up 8 goals and did not get pulled, and he went behind the Montreal Canadiens bench and told the owners, I'm never playing here again, wouldn't you think he would have the wherewithal to leave the kid in? Who cares how bad the team in front of you is? Leave him in the game. Leave him in the game. What an unbelievable confidence shaker that is. Oh, I gave up a goal on the only shot I saw in my life. Maybe he'll never play another minute. He gave up 1 goal on 1 shot. It's not his fault. It was a 2-on-1. It went 5. All right, his stick wasn't down. He's nervous. It's his first game, and his team's getting the doors blown off of them on Long Island by the Rangers. That was a 9-2 game. It was 9-2. You couldn't leave him in there? So what if he gave up 3 more goals? Because guess what? Marcus Hogberg, who he put back in, gave up 2 goals, including this one, which is the worst goal I've ever seen. So Patrick Waugh's the bad. He apologized for it after the game. What's that going to do? Nothing. I sort of what you do now is you start him one of the games this weekend. That's what you do. I don't care if the score's 28-0. You let him play the game.
Well, Chris, as much as I agree with you that you let the kid play, the Islanders are not dead yet.
Shut up.
The Islanders have a tragic number of 1, which means if they win out and Montreal loses out, they still have a chance at the playoffs.
Yeah, but the Rangers and the Blue Jackets and the Red Wings all have to also lose out. I don't want them to make the playoffs. Get them out. We cannot do this. Stop. You know what? Stop it. Stop even entertaining it. I'm so removed from wanting them to make the playoffs right now that there needs to be an E next to their name. Just like with all these teams, that's bliss. That's like a release right there, okay? They've been released from the grasp of this season. And we're perilously still there. It's such a shame. Get it over with. And they lost tonight, didn't they, Montreal?
I think so. Let me check. Yeah, because they're not eliminated. So Montreal lost. They had to have lost. Because if Montreal won, they would have been eliminated.
6 games in a row before this. They couldn't have just lost or won.
Yeah, they lost 5-2 to Ottawa.
They could have clinched a playoff spot with a win tonight. That would have clinched it.
They could have. The Wings beat the Lightning in OT. That's a big one.
Jesus Christ.
The Devils lost to the Penguins. And right now the Oilers are up on the Sharks 2-1. Minnesota, Calgary. It's a big game. That's a big game for Minnesota right now.
That's the biggest game in the NHL, and we're going to talk about that right now as we move to the NHL and talk playoff matchups. Well, Anthony, the Wild were a victim of the Islanders earlier in the week, which is a disgrace. A disgrace. Okay? It's a terrible disgrace. But what has happened is the Wild did win a game, and they won another game after that, including a wild overtime game the other night. But the Flames are still alive for tonight.
Flames are still alive, but Minnesota. This team, right now, as it stands, they are the top wild card. They have a game in hand over St. Louis. They are the only playoff team in the Western Conference with a negative goal differential. Yeah. Now, if you're wondering, how do they have a negative goal differential? Well, I have some stats for you.
Give up a lot of goals.
I thought I had them on my laptop, but unfortunately I don't. So, I asked Chris today, or yesterday, 7:35 a.m. So we were rolling. He was
cooking.
He was in whatever class he was in.
First period.
I was just getting to work.
Kids were rolling in.
I asked him, Chris, how important is Kirill Kaprizov to the Wild? And Chris says, I would assume pretty important. Well, Kirill Kaprizov missed 41 games this season.
That's half the season.
He missed 41 games. He trails Matt Boldy for the team lead in goals by 1.
That's wild.
One goal.
It's incredible, honestly.
And then this team comes out. They've looked lifeless for the last 2 months. And now they come out. They lose to the Islanders. And then I'm thinking they're going to lose to San Jose, which is they're one of the worst teams in the league.
And by God, they almost did.
And they almost did. But they came out and they played an absolutely insane overtime game where the final score of this game was 8-7. 6 of these goals were scored by Joel Eriksson, who had 4. You'll hear about him later. And Kirill Kaprizov had 2.
In his return.
And there was their first game coming back from injury. They got 6 goals out of these
8
guys. Faber scored 1, which was awesome, and I think JoJo scored 1.
And there you go. There's your goal differential.
It's insane. It's the fact that I'm just praying that this team stays in the first wild card because they pull Vegas instead of oh my God, who's in the first?
They will pull Vegas.
Yes,
in the first
instead
round.
of Winnipeg that's the team I couldn't think of. Yes, they would pull Vegas instead of Winnipeg. I do not want anything to do with Winnipeg. I think they can deal with Vegas better than they can deal with.
The team you don't want is in second place in the Central.
The Dallas Stars. I don't want Dallas or Colorado. They can't beat either of those teams.
And I know we're talking about the Wild, but moving to that series, the Stars and Avalanche, that's pretty locked in as being the 2-3 right now. In the Central is going to be an absolute bloodbath.
It's going to be a dogfight.
That's the best series for me.
That's going to be a 7-gamer, and I just hope Minnesota squeaks by Vegas, and then they play one of those teams beaten. I mean,
that's got to be attrition.
Yeah,
there's got to be a dogfight and a hard-fought battle. I mean, first of all, for the top 3 teams in the Central to already all have 100 points is excellent. Insane. I mean, there's only 3 and 2 games left, but still, that is outstanding. Colorado is locked in to third place in the Central, by the way. They have 2 games left, and they trail Dallas by 6. So mathematically, they're locked in third. And so that's just going to be an excellent series. And then, unfortunately, it's either the Blues, Wild, or the Flames. If they beat the Wild today, that's bad for the Wild.
That's very bad.
Because then there'll only be 3 points out with 3 games left, and the Wild will only have 2 games left. So they still control their own destiny, do the Wild, regardless of the outcome. But you don't want it to be that close on the last weekend of the regular season.
You do not. You absolutely do not.
And the Blues are in the same boat, because the Blues only have 2 games left as it stands now, and what's amazing to me is they won 12 straight games, right? They won 12 straight games to vault themselves over all these teams into a playoff spot, yet they've lost their last 2, and the Flames could just uproot them out of that spot. If the Flames catch fire here at the end of the season and win all 4 games, I think they get in over one of these 2 teams, and that's not good.
That would be awesome. It'd be awesome if it's St. Louis.
Well, not good for the Wild.
It would be awesome for St. Louis, but I think Minnesota, they had like a 90, I think it was like a 96% chance of making the playoffs.
You win tonight's game, you're in good shape. You win tonight's game, it's looking great for you.
And again, realistically, it's a very easy last leg of the schedule for Minnesota. I mean, they played San Jose, and then they're playing Calgary right now. Then they have tomorrow, they're playing Vancouver, which they're already eliminated. They always play tough against Vancouver. And then on the 15th, they have the Ducks. So, if you ever needed to roll into the playoffs with some momentum, you'd be coming off of a 3-2 overtime win against Dallas, who you can never beat. Then you go to an 8-7 overtime thriller against San Jose. You figure they beat Calgary, they beat Vancouver, and they beat Anaheim. They're on a 5-game win streak. They have 2 of their best scorers back. They might win a series, Chris. I'm not saying they might make it far. This team I might get to see my hockey team win one playoff series.
You might. I know, at least I've been able to say that. Did you know that the Islanders finished in 3rd in the Metropolitan Division last year? 3rd place.
I did know that.
94 points. Not terrible. Pretty mid-pack team. They have 79 points. So I just wanted to... That's one of my musings. Another matchup that is interesting is the Lightning Panthers, because that is far from set in stone, because the Maple Leafs are only 2 points ahead of the Lightning, so that could flip-flop. And the other thing that's going on here is that the Ottawa Senators are red hot. I do not want to play the Senators if I'm the Toronto Maple Leafs or the Tampa Bay Lightning. You don't want to play Ottawa.
I think we have to. I mean, the key might have been Ullmark. We always thought it was Swayman, but the key might have been Ullmark here.
Has been an outstanding piece of that team this season.
And I think, if I remember correctly, when we did our pretenders and contenders, I think I had Ottawa as a contender, and you said they were pretenders.
I did. I said I don't think Ullmark is the goalie that people made him out to be.
This team, 92 points, red hot over their last 10, 6-3-1. They already clinched the playoff spot, man.
Which is a testament to the rebuild. The rebuild there has been going on for a long time. Their first playoff series this year since 16-17. That's a long time, and that's how long a rebuild takes. They have a great mix of young and old on this team. They have Shane Pinto, who's been who's not a guy that you know very well, but he's got nearly 20 goals this season. He's been around in this team since the early days of the rebuild. Claude Giroux, who's stuck it out with this team for years now. And then, of course, you have Tkachuk and Stützle. But then there's another guy, Drake Batherson, 22 goals. So up and down their lineup, they have this veteran and young guy mix they've really built themselves into something here. And of course, like we've said, they've gotten 19 wins from their backup goalies, which is important. Linus Ullmark has won 23, but their backup goalies have combined for 19 wins. That's it. That's nice. That's reliability.
And it's 3 backup goalies.
Right.
It's not like a 1A, 1B situation. Forsberg is 10-12.
Marilainen.
I could see... I've been looking at real small font all day today. I was doing quotes. Marilainen's 8-3, and then Sogard is 1-1 in his 2 games. But again,
they've combined.
Yeah. And this is a team that's been without Tkachuk for a decent amount of time.
Right, and they're gonna they may have to end the season without him. He'll probably be back around playoff time. But this, as it stands today, they would play the Leafs, and I'd take the Senators in that series.
I think I would too.
Oh boy, the Leafs are shaking again. It's the yearly tradition. They would play the Islanders and lose, as bad as the Islanders are. Doesn't matter where the Leafs finish, they are always prone to sucking.
And it's always right at the playoffs. I don't know if it's an attrition thing, because you have one of the, as much as we don't want to admit it, one of the best players, if you goal scorers, if not players on the planet, in Austin Matthews.
Of course.
And like
hate him or love him.
They just can't get it done, and it's comical.
I mean, you saw, right? Remember last year in the series with Boston, you had Nylander, Marner, and Matthews all bickering on the bench. Like, this is the reality. And so no fan of the team, no fan is, and then we said this last year too, and the year before, no fan of this team goes into a playoff series anymore with this group and says, oh, we've got this, because they know better. They're so whipped by this team's misfortune in the first round. I know they got through the second round 2 years ago thanks to John Tavares' goal. But my goodness, this team needs to win a series, and I'll take Ottawa any day over them.
Now, the other one where, the final series I think we have to touch on, well, there's 2 left. I don't know if we can touch on both of them. But as of right now, as of right now, it would be Montreal versus Washington, the Capitals. And I'm torn here. I don't know if Montreal is going to be the sacrificial lamb and the Capitals are just going to beat the hell out of them, or if they're going to play it a little closer. It's one of those where I feel like Montreal they're trying to prove something. I don't see this being a team that's going to make the cup or make a run at it.
Series.
Yeah. This is a if you're a Caps fan, this is one that's going to get you sweating.
This is 2-0 Caps after 2 games. Ottawa takes one of the 2 at home. They go back to Washington and win Game 5, and then Washington wins in 6. That's how this series is going to go. You heard it here first. This is how it's going to go for me. And it's no disrespect to the Canadiens, because they have had an unbelievable season. Not one critic or person thought they would be where they are. And Marty St. Louis deserves all the credit in the world for getting this team here. Nikki and I were saying it as they were getting closer when you weren't here, and we touched on it last week. I'm so happy that St. Louis has gotten this team to where they are. I love the guy. I love him as a player and as a coach. So good to them. They're the only other team in the playoffs with a negative goal differential besides the Wild with a negative 20. But most of that was earlier on in the season.
They were getting hammered at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. And they were going to be a 40-win team.
Dude, I mean, this is a team. Last year, they finished with 76 points. They had a losing record last year. I mean,
39, 31, and 9, which is still 39 and 40. But listen, I mean, to be in a playoff spot right now, while the other teams that are vying for that playoff spot are all competing to see who's worse. So, they just rattled off 6 wins in a row, and they're 1 win away, and they're going to do it. As long as the Rangers don't make it, I really don't care what happens. Montreal plays Toronto tomorrow. That's a good time to do it. Just please do it.
I would really love to see Columbus make it, though. You don't think so?
Oh, I mean, I would, but I'm rooting really hard for the Canadiens right now, just because of Marty. I know the Blue Jackets would be a great story, and they're not a good team, though. They're not a good team. They're a fraudulent team. The Rangers are a despicable franchise this season, despite their 9-2 win. I'm not being mean because they won. The Rangers played a better game, but they also sucked yesterday. Don't make any mistake. I talked to a friend of mine at work today who also said that. He said they played like, well, I can't say what he said. They played like garbage and still scored 9 goals. Pucks were just finding their way in. The Red Wings are a fraudulent group, and of course the Islanders are as big of frauds as there ever has been in the history of the world. And so it's the Canadiens to lose, and they better just win a game. They just need to win 1 game. That's it. Just put all this to bed. Or all the other teams just have to lose 1. And that's going to happen at some point. The odds are so heavily against all 4 of those teams. We're talking about teams being 6 points out, having a chance. Let's be honest. It's not going to happen.
Very true, very true.
It's almost impossible.
And I guess the last one we'll really touch on, Hurricanes, Devils. I feel like we kind of see this every year. Every year that both teams are in the playoffs.
Yeah, because every other year the Islanders get beat by the Hurricanes.
But I mean, it's Carolina's the better team. They're the healthier team. They're the better team. There's really not much to say about that one.
If you talk to Melissa's uncle Mark, who's a big Carolina fan, he was a Whalers fan and then went down there. Eventually, it took him time to get over it. He would have you believe that the Hurricanes are nowhere near the team that they've been. I think the Devils have more of a chance than you're giving them credit for. Take a look at the Hurricanes' away record this season. They're 38-1 at home. They're 16-19-4 on the road. They have been beaten around by some bad teams, including the Isles at times this season. And so I don't think the Hurricanes are as strong a team as they've been in the past few years, which has always been the bugaboo of Coach Rod Brindamore. He's never been able to take them to that next step, and I think they've gone a little bit backwards this year. They have the whole Rantanen drama. I think the Devils make it close. I don't know if they win, but I think they make it close. But, Anthony, that was well done.
We got one more series, brother.
Yeah.
One more series. And that's either, as of right now, it's the Kings and the Oilers, but the Oilers, in a crazy world, a team that was in the Stanley Cup Finals can miss the playoffs.
Yeah, again, the Flames have to win out, and the Oilers would have to lose out for that to happen. But it could happen.
There is a chance. But as of right now, it's going to be the Kings and the Oilers. I feel like, again, we see this every year. This is going to be just whoever gets hot faster.
Right.
Both of these teams usually start pretty slow. It's whoever heats up faster.
Next week, we're going to talk about the playoff format in the NHL and how I think it needs to change. But we don't have time to talk about that today. I agree with you, Anthony. I'm kind of tired of seeing this series in the first round every year.
Honestly.
I'm not going to make any... this is our show. I can say what I want. I'm bored of this series. I'm also bored of the Wild and the Stars playing every year, and that just needs to stop.
I agree. It needs to stop.
Because I want the Wild to win.
So... I'm going to ask the question here before we get to the Jolly Rancher word of the week. We're just going to keep asking questions. My first question, Chris, is actually I'll interview you quick. First question, we'll just rapid fire. First question, we're going to talk about the social media bracket quickly. A lot of votes in this one. We had a lot of votes in this one. It was very close, but our podcast's namesake has taken the crown. Spaghettis, the 1 seed, very, very much like the Florida Gators, has gone in and beaten the number 2 seed Penne by a very slim margin of 30-28.
That was updated today.
That was a very close one. I do want to thank all of you guys. 58 votes. Listen, it doesn't sound like a lot when you look at all these polls, but 58 different people took their time out of their day to press the button. And we thank all 58 of you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Chris, my next question for you.
That wasn't a question.
What do you think about spaghetti? Would have been my question.
Spaghetti's overrated, but whatever.
Okay. My next question. Can I ask the Jolly Rancher word of the week question?
Yeah. Why not?
Okay. So, Mr. Walker's classes, the Jolly Rancher word of the week, or next week after spring break.
Yeah.
What is the process by which plants release water back into the atmosphere?
There's 2 possibilities here. They could say the one that we put, or they could say the really scientific one, which has another prefix added to it. So either one would be accepted. That's a good one because that's part of the water cycle, which we're learning right now, but it's almost an auxiliary component of the water cycle. But we've talked about it, and I explained it. I took the tomato plant, one of them growing in my room, and
the bag.
No, not that.
You've never done that experiment?
I have, but no. I'm just growing them to use them. And they're just in their holding cell for now. And I explained how that process works. So they all should know that word. Very good, Anthony.
Thank you. My final question for you, Chris. we got some players we'd like to talk about here, and these are players that we like to call Grammys Grinders of the Week. Chris, take it away. Who is your Grammys Grinder of the Week?
There's a lot of eating of words this week. Rafi Devers is my Grammys Grinder of the Week. He's back. He's back. He was 0 for 19 at the beginning of our show last week. Got 2 hits, and he didn't stop there. He has 9 hits in his last 5 games, including a 4-hit affair earlier in the week. His average is up to 278. Silenced me, the hater, almost immediately after I cursed his name. Devers, you're my grinder of the week. Very good.
Mine, I mentioned them. This was almost a dual grinder affair, but I've glazed Kirill Kaprizov far too much on this show. So, my Grammys grinder of the week is a player that looks like Bill Skarsgård. A player also from Sweden, a player coming back from the LTIR for the Minnesota Wild, Joel Eriksson Ek, a 4-goal performance in his first game back from a pretty severe injury. He's the reason they beat the Sharks. Fleury got quite possibly his last ever NHL win. That's a big one. Joel Eriksson Ek, the Super Swede. You are my Grammys Grinder of the Week.
Well done, Anthony. All right, listen, everybody, do this.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you next video.
Thank you, Sabrina. Follow us on TikTok at Sports and Spag Pod and on Instagram at Sports and Spaghetti Pod. And thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. We had a pretty good week with views. Keep it up. Anthony, take us away.
All righty. I'm Anthony. That's Chris. That's where Nikki usually sits.
He'll be back next week.
He will. Well, let's hope. He will be back next week. Anyway, we are 2/3 of Sports and Spaghetti. We got nothing on the table today. We talked about some Masters menus. All the pointing.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Take care, you loved ones. Sit with your driver on the couch. Make him watch the Masters. We call that preparation. And as always, stay full.